Hello, everyone. Let's wait for people to come on in. Cool. Just waiting for everyone to show up, I guess. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Just waiting for people to show up. Hey, what's going on? Welcome. I'll just killing time for people to get here. Matt, of all people. Oh, yeah. That's my cousin right there. So we're waiting for this live to get started, but realistically, we're just kind of hoping that people show up to it. Yeah, I'm always going to be a Toys R Us kid, right? Except I built a drone that's bigger than, well, most people. But it's, hey, it is what it is, right? Today's about chatting and hanging out. I'm building an A10 Warthog. Everything's going beautiful on that one. It's a complicated build. I mean, I put full flaps, full air brakes, a whole 9 yards on it. And it's a twin 70 millimeter. You know the Warthog, right? Lays down the fire and the desert and stuff like that. I mean, saved my ass more than once. So I'm just kind of waiting for, I was scheduled to go on it too, so I'm just kind of waiting for everyone to kind of show up. So how is everyone today? I'm not moving. Thanks, Thomas. How you doing? Welcome to it. Today we're kind of just talking about whatever, you know, whatever we want, just to get to know everybody. And if you like the content of the channel, when you go to check out some of the playlists and things like that, then you're able to, you know, join up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and you know, pick out your favorite project, and then, you know, watch it. I've got tons of playlists. Oh, big freeze coming over there, huh? Love you too, Matt. That's my cousin right there. He's in an area that's gonna freeze over. Lucky him. I'm like in the valley. The only thing we've got is fog. That is it. That is just straight fog. That's it. I want snow. I want, you know, torrential downpours, mudslides. But no, can't have any of that. Just the occasional 4.2 earthquake that stirs your coffee, which seems to scare people on the East Coast. I'm not sure why, but unless it's over like 6.0, I'm not even worried about it. That's just something we're used to around here, you know. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So realistically, today we're just going to talk about whatever it is that comes up. If it's project specific for the A10 that I'm working on right now, you can check out the shorts and some of the videos I've put out for that already. If it has anything to do with the Shrike Ultra, which is the large drone, or the Shrike version 10, the Shrike Mini, which is basically the 70 millimeter EDF. We can talk about that, or we can talk about anything else. We can talk about Ariana Grande looking like the Crypt Keeper. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. We can talk about her handler, who is apparently, I don't know how to describe her. I feel like I can't use that analogy because then people will call me racist. But she sort of tends to her like, we'll say a cat does its kids, you know, like cleaning it and stuff. It's weird. It's weird. Then somebody asked her. She goes, asked Ariana Grande at an interview. He's like, hey, so you know, what's your favorite meal? She started to like cry or something. Like she goes, I couldn't tell you, you know. I ate it and then I had to go get rid of it immediately. You know, because God knows we want to see those ligaments attached to your collarbones. I don't know what's up with those guys. Really, I don't. I mean, some of the stuff you see in Hollywood now and online is just, it's just crazy. Everyone's lost their damn minds. And I can't figure it out. I mean, but hey, at least we're bombing the crap out of Iran. That's a plus, right? We're gonna free Iran. Their people want to be free. Yeah, I told it's gonna just be just a stain in the desert. By the time we're done. But yeah, today I kind of want to just get to know who everybody is and kind of meet new people and hope they like the content that I have on my channel. Most people don't because, let's face it, a lot of YouTube now is 15 seconds of cringe or chaos, and that's usually the only thing that grabs attention. Actually, I'm actually making fun of the idea. That's the whole point of this. Here, you can read the rest of it. Now you get it. See, it's not about identity politics. It's about making fun of identity politics. I don't know what you're talking about. What starts? Identity politics is stupid. It's obvious what I am. I don't care if some dude dresses up as a woman. It's obvious what he is. If anything, it kind of reminds me of the old Ronald McDonald, you know, back in the 80s. But that's about as nostalgic as it gets with the that community. This is funny. What is a Republican? Well, the country was founded as a republic, so if you're part of that republic and you are a Republican, it's more or less. I would say I would try to tie it to conservative, being more conservative or not progressive in the sense of like they're doing now, like progressivism without without a moral compass. It's like we're all driving towards the cliff, and we know we're going to go right over the edge. But if you turn, you're a racist. So that's basically the difference between the two. It's about freedom. This is a free country. It was built on immigration, so nobody's against immigration, and I think that's what the big problem is, like with people hating ICE and stuff like that. So, this country was built on immigrants. We all are descendants from immigrants. I mean, let's face it. I did run across a few shorts that I thought were funny, in regards to this. Like everyone likes to say, we're on stolen land, but these Indian tribes were killing each other for land and livestock long before we came along. So just because we happen to be white and they happen to be here, it's, hey, look, you were conquered. That's all there is to it. And then they tried to make it better by giving reservations and things like that, but you never can make anyone happy for too long, right? And it all comes down to who's got the bigger hammer in the end, and who's got a moral compass to guide it. So, yeah. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much. A lot of people get mad at it. I don't want to offend any one person. I kind of like to offend everyone as a group. So, that's your trigger warning. Which is funny because that term didn't even exist when I was like growing up. Trigger warning. The only trigger warning we had was safety off on the range, There's your trigger warning. Well, yeah, people they made up so many terms, it's not even funny. And then they come at us, and then another thing they do is they come at us, and I know our parents probably thought the same thing about us, growing up. But we had Freddy Krueger, right? Then they came out with a new Freddy Krueger, the new Mark Hamill as Chucky. I mean, come on. No. No, we had Chucky, we had Freddy, we had Pinhead and things like that. So leave it alone. It's ours. Okay, it belongs to Gen X. Period. You can enjoy it, but don't try to remake it. Okay. Because I get halfway through watching any kind of show nowadays, and you're like, wow, this is a decent show, I really like it. And then all of a sudden there's like two guys kissing. You're like, no, I'm done with this show. No, sorry. You ruined it. So that's the identity politics that people throw into everything. Freddy Krueger is the bet. Not was. He's still in your dreams. You need to build a drone? What kind of drone are you looking to build? I do a lot of experimental stuff. I don't even think I have a drone besides this little thing here that actually has propellers on it. Mine's all EDF and stuff like experimental stuff. This one is just for fun, just flying around. Not a bad little toy. But it's fun, especially when you're waiting for expanding foam filament to print another wing part, because I have the port wing done on the A10 and the body. I should bring the body over here so you guys can see it. I didn't use like the lightweight filament. I used I did use lightweight filament, but I didn't use the one from 3D Lab Print. I used one you could find on Amazon. and it's actually pretty good stuff. So let me get it real quick. I'll bring the body over here. It's not painted or anything. Yeah. So she's not painted, but the wing is sitting over there. I just finished the port wing, like I said. But this is all done with lightweight filament, and it's a decent size, and it's pretty rigid. It's got a huge servo canopy, control surfaces and battery canopy and all that. And it's just, it's a good looking piece. The gondolas came out really well for the 70 millimeters. It just came out really, really good. Really good quality for that filament. I haven't put the gun on it yet. The little plastic one that they had on there, because I hadn't decided whether or not I was going to put fluorescent BBs in this thing for airsoft and then have the black light in there, and then just so I could do airsoft strafing runs. You got to do that. I mean, come on, you got to do that. What reason would I have to build an A10 unless I'm gonna add the Burt, with the airsoft and the backlight and the fluorescent BBs? That's just, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it before. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, it's an A10 Warthog, and it's not painted yet. I'll grab the wing so I can show it to you. I just put the first coat on the wing, so it's kind of. Hold on one second. Oh, I just put the first coat on the wing, so it's not done on the first half of the wing that I'm messing with here. But what I wanted to show you was what I have done to it. So if you bear with me for a second here, I will hook up receiver. This isn't the receiver I'm going to use for it. I'm going to use an actual flight controller, but I have everything kind of bound up here so I can test it when I need to. Except I'm half blind. Not half blind. I just can't see anything out here. You guys can see me fine. If I turn the lighting up, it'll get all washed out. I have to be careful. The infamous sound. Yes, I want to add that with like a small speaker, because this is expanded foam. I think what will happen is it will make I can mimic the sound with a motor that spins like a rubber piece off of a drum inside the body. So I think that will actually work well to mimic the sound. I kind of wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So I'm getting everything hooked up right here. This is the deceleron. It's the port. Aileron. That's the one. Okay, port aileron. Flaps. There's one more here. Where are you? Oh, here it is. And this is the deceleron. Yeah. Okay. Now on this I have, because this is just a simple little 6-channel receiver, I have it hooked up to a just a 5-volt BEC, just so I can kind of test everything. Yeah, I would do. I mean, it's just the first coat. I thought about changing it and just using that first coat as a primer, but I haven't done more than one coat. You can see that the aileron's a little bit darker than the actual body. This is my sort of in-house test radio. It's a Fly Sky. Actually, it's perfect for when you're just testing stuff. I've used this on my drones. I've used it on everything. But let's see, make sure all my switches are good. Okay. So on this one, I'm trying to get it all in frame here. I still have some painting to do on the areas that I missed. But we do have, obviously, full aileron. But we also have full air brakes. So we got the air brakes. Right? Air brakes are there. Ailerons there. I got to do some adjusting of servos and stuff like that and make sure everything's straight. Obviously, there's going to be some trim settings I have to do, which will be different because it's going to go to the flight controller. And then I have the full flaps here. So, which means that I can go with full flaps and then I can go full air brakes if I want to. So that's working out pretty good. I'm trying to hold it steady so you can see everything. So things are on knobs. Because of the way that this transmitter works, I've got everything on knobs right now. Get the 10 channels fine. Yeah, I am going to get the 10 channel because I want to put it on my... this is a 10 channel transmitter. I just don't have the receiver for it. The receiver is 6 channel because I don't know what happened to my other one. So I had an i6 laying around, or an FSIA 6B. That's what I'm using. So, but this is actually going to be controlled by a SpeedDB F405 wing. Just so I can, you know, have those channels that I need, and then set the servo throws for each one of the servos, which will make things easier to kind of trim everything out. So that's where we're at on that. But she looks pretty good. Landing gear's on the way, and then I'll get the landing gear installed. I am doing TPU tires, and I printed my own rims and everything. So that's going to be fun. Pretty much everything on this is all, none of it's really purchased except for the servos and stuff like that. I mean, as far as hardware goes, as far as what wasn't printed, obviously servos and batteries and things like that. But I tried to make sure that I printed almost everything else. So I know that there's a couple of files out there with some decent landing gear that you can make yourself and stuff like that. But I was already, when you're printing with the expanding foam filament, a lot of the mistakes people make is they try to get it as fast as they can. And I'm going to be honest, you're not getting a good print at anything higher than 40 millimeters a second. You have to allow for the science to happen in the expansion of the foam. Thank you. Thank you, Stay. Is it Stefan? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Oh, did I unplug my laptop? Probably. I'm going to lose the laptop here in a second. But the phone will still go. Anyway, let me unplug this really quick and get it out of the way. I want to get this over on the table so I don't mess it up. Still have another one to do. Then I got to do the tail section. The tail section will be fun. And if you'll bear with me 1 second here, I'm going to find out what I unplugged. Oh, the issues with Alive. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. I need a bigger shop. I'm good. Almost done. Get over here, you little bastard. Okay. I think I got it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh. Whew. That was a chore. Hold on a second. A tad bit warm in here. Believe it or not, even though it's cold, at least it's maintaining the heat here in the garage. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I got it. Now I was unplugging stuff so I could plug in the phone's power. And it goes, oh, your battery's low on the laptop. I'm like, uh-oh. Messed that one up. I used to get a lot of viewers. And now they just kind of fall off because, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing stuff that's like fun. What do most of these people do on lives? I saw one guy that was like, do you want me to chug this water? You want me to chug water or something like that? I know. He was like, I'll chug water if you ask me to. Okay, man. Oops. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? I think completing the plane. Thank you. Hustle. Thank you. I think completing the plane is going to take me at least another week or two. It's really because you're not, like I said, you're not fighting the chemistry on expanding foam filaments. When you're doing single wall prints and you're printing a plane, you're not going to get past the fact that you're going to have to print at 40 millimeters a second. Even though I have a Bamboo Lab X1 carbon, which I could, if I did it in PLA, I could, standard PLA, I could spit the whole plane out in a day. But, because I did it once with PETG. I don't know how heavy that one would be, but I think it would be pretty heavy. I think I still have it up there too. I'll have to show it to you in a little bit. It's just a collection of parts because I was going to do it in PETG and see how heavy it was in comparison to the expanded foam. Obviously, it's going to be heavier than the expanded foam filament, but hey, only one savior, Jesus. I agree with you on that one. This is where everyone exits the room, I'm guessing. That's the way it happens. But you're basically going to have to, I think that obviously the PETG is going to be heavier. I want to know how much heavier as a completed aircraft it would be. And if the standard 70 millimeter motors would lift a PETG version of this, or, you know, is it going to have to be straight sane smart? I imagine you'd have to have a longer runway because it's going to mimic more of the weight of the aircraft at that scale being printed at a PETG. It'd be a little bit tougher, but of course, if you hit something, you're going to shake. If you hit anything with a 3D printed plane, you're going to break it. That's all there is to it. So lightweight foam, PETG, doesn't matter. You're going to break, unless it's TPU. If it's TPU for the AMS, you're not going to break it. It's going to like bounce, wrap around the tree, and then keep going. That stuff is phenomenal when it comes to layer adhesion. No, it's not a new thing. It's been around for a while. But it's more of sort of niche as far as what people do to print. A lot of people use it because it creates super lightweight airframes. I haven't really seen people use an expanding foam filament and anything else. Maybe boats, RC boats, possibly. That seems like something that they would use it for. Um, Possibly. Realistically, any kind of 3D print that you want to be lightweight or easily carvable with an X-Acto knife or things like that. I don't think it's waterproof. It might be, but it's PLA. It's just a foaming PLA, so it's not going to be like a standard polystyrene or anything like that. Well, I can tell you what I use is Sane Smart foaming. It's LWPLA is what it's labeled as on Amazon. They're not paying me to say that, at least not yet. I hope. Maybe they will. But it's like $44 a roll. It's comparable to the same lightweight filament that 3D Lab Print does. Now I know they have good filament. The only issue with that is, like where I'm at, for example, if I order a $20 roll, I have to pay 58 or at the very least 38 to get it shipped to me. So it doesn't make any logical sense unless I'm ordering a whole bunch of it to actually have it to order it, because even at $20 a roll, or 35 for their higher end stuff, $40 to $60 for shipping, depending on how fast I want it, is ridiculous. So I went with the Sane Smart expanding foam filament, which is basically Sane Smart LWPLA, on Amazon, and it was $44, no shipping, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know I probably could have got 2 rolls of filament from 3D Lab Print, but then I would still have to pay the equivalent of 2 more rolls to have it shipped to me. So it's sort of a catch-22. It's like, what do you do? Do you bite the bullet and pay for that much shipping? And if you do, how much do you order? And if you order a lot, is it going to be the same shipping, or is it going to be by weight? It's obviously going to be by weight, right? So, but who knows? It just seems like a really, really high shipping price. What printer are you using, Stefan? The one thing I hate more than anything is bed leveling. I'm serious. I would rather get shot again. This was in the Army. I'm not talking about outside of any legal area where war happens. No, I'd rather get shot again than have to deal with bed leveling. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. I would listen to Taylor Swift before I did my own bed leveling again. And I do not like Taylor Swift. There was this one guy I knew that liked Taylor Swift, but he wouldn't drive in the rain. I don't know why. Something about the furry rainbow covering on his truck getting wet. Your printers are okay. Another CG. How you doing, man? Ender 3. I have one of those. I keep it as sort of a memento. It's like It's like a Smithsonian kind of thing, you know. But it works. I put a look at the CPU fan I put on the front when I made my own carriage. It works great. I just don't use it because I have the bamboo. It's like sitting back here. I'm like trying to figure out what to do with it. I'm like, what can I print out in the garage right now that I absolutely need to hook that thing up for? Britney Spears. No. I remember when she was popular, and that's now she's just like 98% lithium. Yeah, that's. I mean, that was a good printer. I'll be honest with you. If you see the Shrike concept playlist, the Shrike concept drone playlist, the very first white drone that I printed, it was out of white filament, and that was an EDF drone, much like this one here, but it was white. I did that one on the Ender. This one was done on the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. I'm waiting for the motors still. But this one is a 70 millimeter EDF quad, and it's designed to be completely impractical. It carries a 6,000 milliamp battery. No, it is not meant to be better than a propeller drone, because I get a lot of people there like, how is that efficient? I said, what the heck? Efficient? Would you look at this thing? Can you imagine going out in dusk and flying this thing around with 470 millimeter EDFs at full blast? And who cares about efficiency? You know? Like, all the time I get that. They're like, I can't believe you built that. It's a huge battery and it's like impractical. Who cares? Enjoy the drone. It makes me mad because they're like, how are you gonna judge? Why? Because you didn't think of it first? I saw a lot of people out there doing, EDF quads, trying to do the same thing, but they're trying to do it with a stack that can't handle the amps. So what makes it worse is you use a 4S, which is a lot higher amp draw per motor than a 6S. But how do you handle 340 amps of peak current at full throttle? Well, I took a SpeedyBee F405 wing and I piggybacked it on top of an APD 500X power distribution board, which could handle 500 amps. And I powered the SpeedyBee with the 12 volt output from the board, and I also powered the Arduino for the lights that I programmed off of that as well. And then the ESCs connect directly to that power distribution board, and you bypass the power distribution board on the flight controller completely. That's the only way you're going to do it. So this is a 6S 70 millimeter quad. I already have one that I built and flew as an FDE color. You'll see it on the channel trailer on my homepage of my channel page. Yeah. 500 amps. That board can handle 500 amps. And it's like a 40 millimeter by 40 millimeter board. And that drone was so much fun to fly. So much fun. But because I didn't have a real big budget like I do now, I don't. But so I had to take the engines and everything out of that when I started working on the Javelin. Now all these playlists you can find on my channel page. You can become a member. I don't have any membership perks. Honestly, I'm just trying to make some money off of it so I can keep the channel going. So if you want to become a member, do a super chat, whatever, more power to you. You don't have to. I'm not expecting it. I'm not requiring it. It's just more or less when I get paid from this, which I'll be honest with you, I made like $130 so far. Not much. I would buy servos. I bought filament. So it's just so I can keep going for you guys. So it's not a requirement, but yeah, if you want to become a member, you can. If you want to support the channel, you can. Anyway, just subscribing supports, watching supports. Everything you're doing right now is supporting me, all 7 of you. And that's another thing I wanted to get back to. There's a lot of people that don't get noticed on YouTube for what they do, and there's a lot of content creators out there that don't get the recognition that they do. I'm not saying I deserve a bunch of recognition, but there's some really talented people that are coming out of there, you know, that people are just like, they're overall ignoring their channels. And I'm like, it's sad, you know? And when people come in and they say, oh, you know, that's impractical to build a drone like that. It isn't about practicality. It's about experimentation. It's about experimenting with propulsion, experimenting with blade design. If you don't believe me, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This isn't a practical drone that I'm about to show you. Okay, this is not a practical drone. Is it a practical drone? Probably not. But you know what? It's fun and it works. And it has 1,440 LEDs in it. So, yeah. Strike Ultra, baby. I'm gonna fly my butt to the store. That's what I'm gonna do. Hold on, I gotta bring this big girl back over here. All right, stay there. You see, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. No, it's not impractical. What if you have to lift a Toyota somewhere? There you go. That's about 70 pounds right now with the hardware. Yeah. I can't even fit that on my car. I have to get a trailer for that thing before I take it out to the field. Right now it's running on 4 70/70 flip sky motors, which are skateboard motors, believe it or not. Those are 340 millimeter 11 blade high pass fans. Everything's 3D printed, including the fans. I've done extensive testing on the fans. You can actually see it in the Shrike Sarop Ultra, or Shrike Ultra Sarop drone playlist on my channel. That one is because I wanted to build a search and rescue platform that could be more efficient than standard drones. Because not with PETG blades, I'm not claiming this, but with the alloyed blades in the same configuration, it could lift 472 pounds. So that's the idea behind that. Don't worry, I won't pull muscles. But I probably shouldn't have painted that wing like half an hour ago, because now I'm like, I let it dry in here and feeling it. But oh, my other light went out. Did I unplug that? I guess it did. Anyway, that's better. That bothers me. Hold on. Why would that be out? Oh. Okay. Oh, I got that light. I'll be fine. Everyone can see me, right? So, yeah, it might seem impractical to print 28 kilograms of PETG into one drone, but here we are. So, yeah, I mean, it's insane. But, you know, it's running 18S. It's running 4 mag components, AMPX, 120 amp, 75 volt ESCs. Right now, like I said, running the Flip Sky 7070 motors, and I'm switching to the 8100s because I need more torque. I burnt up the 7070s. Why? Because the disc loading is high on those engines. So on those fans. So finding the proper motor that can handle the heat, handle the torque, give me the RPM range I need so I can get the thrust has been interesting. But I'm trying to do it with off-the-shelf components so that anybody can do this if you feel the need for a 5-foot by 5-foot drone. An EDF drone. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing that. The A10 is because I love flying warbirds, but I also don't like flying the small warbirds. They're too finicky, they're too light, they don't work. I mean, they work, you know, if you're flying and there's absolutely no wind. And then when you get out too far, you can't see them anyway. So there's that. I loved flying like the big powered gliders. We're talking 6-foot wingspan or more. I like the big warbirds like this. This is probably the 11th scale, 11:1 on scale on this. So it's not bad. It's I want to say 1500 millimeter, maybe. I'll have to measure it out when I'm done. I'm not sure what class this would be in, but it's a decent sized plane, and I love the detail in the scaled warbirds like that. Full retracts, flaps, air brakes, you name it. I also like experimenting with different designs. This is a centralized 90 millimeter flying wing, the 90 millimeter EDF, which is directly centralized in the middle of the hull, and it's literally the front of the aircraft. There's no dual intakes on the side because there's no need for a cockpit. So I decided to do something a little bit different. I got some servos and stuff coming in. I'm waiting for the carbon fiber rods, but the ones I ordered, I guess, came from out of country, so they never arrived. Thank you, China. So I'm getting the refund on those, and I got to get more carbon fiber rods so I can get them in those wings because I have ports for the rods. And then that'll be something I take up and test again. I did this once before with stubby wings, and it did not go well. So, but it was funny. Hold on a second. It's nice chatting with you. Greetings from the Netherlands. Almost midnight here. See you next night. Well, Stefan, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And good luck with that bed leveling. Use a glue stick. It'll help with layer adhesion to the bed. It's called Magigoo. You can get it on Amazon. Okay, answered YouTube. I'm going to read this. I'm not going to read it out loud. Okay. First off, answered YouTube. What about what you're seeing on this screen makes that comment in the least bit relevant? I'm just asking. Carl, or Car Colors, how are you doing? Glad you're here. You want to talk about... Yeah. Sales special. How you doing? Sales special! hold on. So you're saying your introduction is jumping in and saying something about gun rights and people should be able to protect themselves and things like that. I mean, so you're saying you're a dim, but you hope to find why? Okay, what kind of common ground are you looking for? Just curious. And what form of common ground, what format are you speaking of? Because you mentioned several things in that first statement, which leads me to you're asking 3 questions in that. I want to find common ground on this because on this and on this. Okay, so get specific. Well, what do you want to know about self-defense and individual rights? Well, self-defense is an individual right. I mean, that's sort of a moot point. That statement is sort of almost contradictory. So what are you asking? That A10 is going to be awesome. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. I have put so much. I literally did the first wing because as sort of a learning curve for the rest of the airplane. So I did the port wing, and I've got air brake. I've got the ailerons, got the air brakes, and I've got full flaps and retractable landing gear. So it's going to have the whole 9 yards. I haven't decided on which 70 millimeters. It's a dual 70 millimeter setup for the EDFs. So I haven't decided on which brand I'm going with yet, because I'm always using the same one for the drones. But I thought about doing something different, maybe getting a different brand, maybe running a different KV. It's definitely going to be 6S, 22.2 volt. I'm staying with that for sure. So that's basically what I'm going to go with on the A10. And then, of course, I am adding the black light and the little airsoft shooter on the front for just so you get that effect of it being a tracer coming out of the front, and do some airsoft strafing runs on some foam targets and stuff at the range. That'll be fun. That would add, I think, another level to an airsoft game. To have an A10, a remote control A10, doing strafing runs on people with airsoft BBs. And I've done some airsoft just for fun, but to be honest with you, when it comes to doing a full-on, I was doing laser tag for a little while, but they kicked me out because I just knocked people out with the rifle to conserve ammunition. And I've been wanting to do another full airsoft game. Just find a place where we can do a really cool airsoft game, but then be the guy piloting the A10. and they're going after people, and they don't expect it. All they hear is the first sound of that engine coming around, and then all these BBs come from the sky. Yeah, it's meant to make people laugh. It really is. That's the idea behind the shirt. See, because most people get mad when they get misgendered and stuff like that. So I told them, I said, well, then wear a name tag. What are you today? Because it always changes, right? And if you say it doesn't always change, then you're lying, because it changed to begin with, or you wouldn't be here pretending to be whatever you're not. So I said, if you don't want me to mistake it, when I'm trying to be polite and saying thank you ma'am, or thank you sir, or thank you desk lamp, or thank you kitty cat, or whatever the hell it is, wear a name tag. And I'm not going to just say to do it and not do it myself. So because I don't believe in the identity ideology. This is for their sake, you know, so they don't become somehow triggered by not knowing what to call me, or whatever pillow they want to cry on this time. My point is, it was meant to be funny, but it's also meant to make a statement. If you're going to get on me for mislabeling you, is what we'll call it, then make it apparent what you are, okay? And if you say to me, if you're covered in rainbows and tattoos and spikes, I don't know what that is. The septum piercing doesn't tell me, okay? At best, I'm gonna think that you are a sadistic unicorn poop. I don't know what gender you're playing at, okay? So don't expect me to read I'm not a mind reader, so get a damn name tag. Today and then like 30 different whatever it is, you know? So someone can just, and then you're not offended. And I don't have to sit there for 30 minutes arguing with someone that in my day, we would have just settled outside, you know, in just a few seconds. Because in school, that's how we did things, you know? And then afterwards, we were friends. You know, we'd have a difference, we'd go outside, we'd duke it out, and then we'd shake hands, and then we'd be best friends. Stuff like that. That's how we used to handle stuff when people actually acted like freaking people. So there is that. And now I'm down to 4 viewers. At least my analytics say that. I don't know if they typically don't, they're not accurate. But it could be 4 people. I don't really care. The lives don't get the attention they're supposed to. And I have some very niche content. Plus, I'm a little bit off the wall when it comes to talking to people online. I like to have fun with it. And most people don't like that. They're like, oh, I'm offended, I'm triggered. It's like, fine, go away. Leave me alone. If that's the way you feel. Bye-bye. But yeah, as far as the... Hold on. Why in disappointment? Isn't that why you're there in the first place? Who goes to the bathroom and goes, damn, that was disappointing? I'm sorry you walked into that one, man. You walked into it. Or you scooted into it. Oh, damn. Killer A10, what's going on? You were shipping here earlier. I was showing the A10 wing. I finished. The body is done. Well, half the wing's finished, but I got all the control surfaces in. You can check the shorts out. You'll see it. Or if you rewind like 30 minutes, then you'll see it. But I want to get back to Dreamcast here because I want to know what's disappointing about the shirt. What's disappointing about it? You can read the whole thing. That way you don't get any confusion. Okay. So what about this shirt is disappointing you? Just out of curiosity. Okay, I understand that you're in the bathroom, but you know the rule. It's 2 shakes only, or you're just playing with it. So I want to hear what's disappointing about it. I really do. It's either going to be a shirt or what I did for a living, in the military or anything like that. People actually come up to me and ask me how Vietnam was, and I'm like, "Will you shut up and get out of here? How old do you think I am?" He's gonna type an essay about it. Yeah, it's gonna fill the whole screen. I can already see it. He's been triggered. He's been triggered. Oh no. My line of work, that word used to mean something different. You triggered something, like if we were in the desert and you triggered something, you better be at least 150 yards away from me. Because that means you stepped on something you aren't supposed to. Yeah, that's what triggered meant. Now it just means, I don't even know what it means. It's like everyone's offended at everything. Everything. And it doesn't matter what it is. I could come out here and be completely and totally politically to the left, and they'd still find a problem with it. And I'm a Republican, obviously. I'm more conservative. But I'm not a quiet conservative. And the reason why I'm not a quiet conservative is because that means that you fear what the other side might do. Which means that you obviously haven't identified or at least looked at what the left side of the aisle actually is. They only try to assassinate people every once in a while, and half the time they miss. And I'm gonna be honest. It's ridiculous the way that you can't be politically correct anywhere. So screw it. It's a free country. I don't have to be politically correct. If you don't like my opinion, you can kiss the widest part of my ass and head out the door. Because that's what this country is about. Freedom of speech. Oh, I know it means very angry. That's why I love doing it. It's just watching somebody literally boil over something stupid. Like someone getting mad at me for duck hunting. It's like, screaming and yelling or something like that because I went out and shot a bird to eat. How stupid is that? Yeah, there's freedom of speech. Here, go for it. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, as long as you're not breaking any YouTube laws or anything like that, or attacking other viewers and stuff like that. Then yeah, say what you gotta say, man. You're gonna get it back. I promise you that. So say what you gotta say. Just remember, if the mods don't like it or if YouTube doesn't like it, they're gonna ban you. They're gonna kick you out. It ain't gonna be my call. So yeah, say what you gotta say. People are too quiet about what they want to say. Instead, they choose violence. And then with me, I'm gonna be honest with you, with what Don Lemon did. If I was in that church, I'm a God-fearing man, but I would have knocked him the fuck out. Bottom line. And I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it. Yeah, Don Lemon would be juiced on the floor. It's not limited here. It's about what, because I don't want YouTube to get mad at you and you get dinged because you said something in a chat. They have their rules. Well, it's not that. I agree that there's a lot of avenues for people to express themselves, and most of the time, you're right. They're not educated in what they are expressing. You see it all the time in the reels when someone will go up and they're on the left and they're arguing with somebody on the right, and they're saying, women's rights, but they can't identify a woman without stepping on their own toes. So they walk away. And say, "Oh, it was a mistake for me to even come here." You've seen that reel. I'm sure most of the people on the planet have. Timu ads? Oh yeah, of course. Okay, here's the thing. Let me tell you something right now. The reason why I have the viewers I have right now on live is because I am not a girl reacting to a video, or I'm not doing some sort of stupid cringe, chaos, or cleavage. Bottom line. And then YouTube has its policies when what they're actually doing is extorting the females who intentionally know they're being extorted so they can get ad revenue. That's all there is to it. I'm putting out intellectual content on my channel, experimental propulsion, cool new designs where I have fun, and then I do these lives where I try to get to know people who want to come in and join the channel or like the content or just like the conversation or the debate, and we get 7 viewers, 6 viewers. Now, if I was a girl wearing a low-cut shirt, how many viewers do you think I'd have right now? I mean, obviously without the beard. It's just the viewers on the lives. I mean, I've got 24,000 subscribers. That's what's weird, And then half the time, most of the people who they either haven't clicked for notifications, or they have notifications clicked, but their phone isn't allowing those notifications through. So you got to check your phone too. It's weird. My subs are not fake. Ask any one of them. I think someone's jealous of my subs. And the fact that I'm an awesome looking guy. And they're jealous. That sentence made absolutely no sense. If the content's mediocre, like you're claiming, how does me not giving myself enough credit make sense? Oh, dude, I collect trolls. You ain't the first. Your shit don't bother me. Figuratively speaking. At least I'm not there to smell it. Oh, shut up, Evan. Go back to your car bed. Evan, you've always been a cool subscriber. You really have. One of the first original trolls who stuck around. Better troll than, what is it, Cheese Biscuits? What's your name? I don't know. Some cheese sucker rust or something. I have no friggin' clue what that means, but whatever. Yeah, I get a lot of jealous people. It's cool, man. You ain't got to lie to kick it. They get mad because I actually have knowledge and experience, and I apply it to what I do, which means the content is intellectual. So it makes total sense why the younger generation now, the one that's been raised on their existential crisis rectangles, wouldn't have a clue what they're looking at unless they watched my videos twice. And then they might sort of understand. Like, I'm not, if your birth year starts with 2, I'm sorry. You're shit out of luck. Welcome. How you doing, man? Play what? What are you talking about, Evan? Evan's trolling again. I love it. At least it's something new this time. So cheese biscuits. You don't have anything else to say, or what? Is that it? Because trolls, man, I collect you. I collect you, bitches. Love it. Yeah, I'm just kicking back, median. Kicking back, doing a live, chatting with folks. Working on the A10 Warthog. Doing that. Are you loud enough? This little thing's fun. There you go. Here you go, Evan. Ah! Okay, let's try it again. All rise. Evan's jealous because he wants one. Uh-oh, my battery died. That A10 is going to be awesome. That thing is going to be sick to fly, I'm telling you. And I'm so happy that it's the bigger warbird, because the smaller warbirds are a pain in the butt to fly. I'm not knocking FMS, but if you're going to put out a warbird, I mean, give it some substance so it flies like one, you know? Yeah, that A10 is going to be fun. It's taking a while to print because you're not, and the one thing that people tend to forget, you're not getting past the physics of foaming PLA. It's 40 millimeters a second. You're not gonna go any faster than that. So it's a waiting game. It's literally a waiting game. I have no idea what that even means. What's up? Oh yeah. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, we got all the trolls coming in. It's always fun when the trolls come in. Greetings from North Korea. Ain't got no internet in North Korea. There. You guys are fun. You guys are having like a conversation all to yourself. This actually got off of Amazon for like $20. I just wanted something to fly around in the garage when I was printing stuff. It's actually kind of fun. It's cool looking though. Not bad for the money. Yes, troll, please. All of you troll. Feed the algorithm. Come to me, my trolls. Kneel before your king. Fascinating shirt. Yes. It's more of a troll, believe it or not. Here, you can read the whole thing. How else may I piss you off today? By simply existing? Good. Thank you. It was actually a lot longer. I had to trim it back because it was just getting out there. Yeah, I was like Grizzly Adams for a while. Nobody knows who Grizzly Adams is. Not in this generation. What? Grizzly who? Does he work for PETA? I'm telling you, it's crazy out there, man. It is crazy. It's just it's politically it's what I sort of expected after Biden. Completely retarded, but other than that, did I take my medication today? Yes, I did. Thank you. I did take my medication. Evan, thank you for checking. Appreciate it. Oh, did he get timed out? Aw, poor Evan. He has to go lay in his car bed and pout. Yeah, there's you kind of got me on that one. I'd already kind of built up on that one. Horiton 64. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna tell you, it was already built up before you came into the room. It really was because people are like, I can't believe you're wearing that shirt. I'm just. And then a troll showed up, and then when he realized I don't give a shit if he trolls, and he kind of just shut up and left. And then another one comes in, and I'm ignoring him because all he wants me to do is repeat what he said online. But I find it hilarious this is what they're doing in their off time. It tells you a lot about people. Horotan. Okay, Harutan. Am I saying that right? Harutan. Why do I feel like I need to be in like full samurai get up when I say that? Like in like just offer the sword to you, you know. Ligma? What is that? A10. What you talking about, man? Don't be setting me up. Oh, well, that makes sense, right? So are you in Japan, or are you just Japanese, or are you just like the culture? I think the culture is cool. You know, I knew a Japanese scientist once, and he discovered the cure for severe radiation poisoning, and he was a Hiroshima survivor. And he said it was the second biggest surprise of his life. Evan. DCS A10 Warthog instructor. Yeah, I'm gonna need help with the A10. I'm not using the baseball field to take off with that one. I probably could with the flaps, but I'm not gonna risk it. There's a airstrip that's close by for RC planes, but I gotta like pay the dues on. You know how they do. They're like, we have a Facebook. You gotta like join the club and then pay your dues, and then you can go out and crash your plane. So that's what I'm gonna have to do first because I need a runway. There was one that I went to that was local, and it was really nice, but I think the club shut down for it. It was behind the lake, and I used to go there all the time. As a matter of fact, in one of my playlists, the old school RC, you can see where I was flying stuff when I was younger. I was like flying a whole bunch of small RC jets and stuff like that. But that airfield is where I flew some nitro planes, the powered glider, and everything. It was really cool. Oh yeah, you were talking about that. What did you get in the mail today, A10? What did you get in the mail? Was it a parcel? Thank you. It's coming out nice. It's a lot nicer than I thought. I thought I was going to get stuck with having to buy the 3D lab print filament and then pay like the $40 they wanted for shipping when the rolls were only $20 a piece. So I just went with something off of Amazon. And I got it the next day. I didn't have to wait, you know? And yeah, I could probably buy another roll for because I paid like $44, $45 for it. It's a Sane Smart LWPLA. You can get it on Amazon. It's a good product. They're not paying me to say any of this. I'm just saying I like using their lightweight filament. It's actually working out much better than I thought. And I think if I don't know the settings completely, I think if I could probably get more out of it by doing some settings changes and doing some testing and things like that. But I kind of have it at a sweet spot right now, so it's printing really well. But I'm betting I can get more out of it. The problem is like on the X1 Carbon, you can get PLA Aero from Bamboo Lab, but if you're running your own, because they have that internal, they have the RFID basically code on the strip inside the filament roll, so the printer knows what it is and already has presets. But like with the ASA, they sent that out and the printer didn't know what the heck to do with it, so you ended up with a snow globe when you were done inside your printer. And hey Robbie, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. And so the PLA Aero is good. I like that. That works pretty well from Bamboo Lab. The ASA, no, not that Aero did not work well. No one could ever find good settings for that. You couldn't do it. It wasn't working right. It would expand too fast or too slow. It had to be super dry, and if it wasn't, then the settings were off. You'd get steam expansion from any moisture, that kind of stuff. It was crazy. Thank you, my dear. Like on my beer, you made me a full-on cappuccino. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna keep it warm though. Hold on, what are you asking? Where can I order this drone? We want to be filming us while we... What are you asking? Which drone? Robbie? Evan? What? Why would I dress up as a wizard? Where can we order this drone? We want to be filming us while we skate. Oh, what? Which drone are you talking about? That's what I want to know. The big drone, I'm just waiting for the bigger motors because I had to go with a lower KV running at 18S. Because to push the full 75 volts, the 270/70s that I was testing, I burnt them up at 75 volts. I mean, I just burned them. That's how much disc loading is on that fan. So I'm going to go with some IP35s from Mad Components, which is a 50 kV, a lot more torque, bigger motor, runs on 24 or 18S, but can handle 24, which means I won't burn it up. And I'm going to put a pulley at 2-to-1, so that's going to give me my 12,000 RPM range I'm looking for. So a little bit of a modification, but I still get to use the same ESCs. So now, as far as what Robbie was saying, where can you buy the drone? Which drone are you talking about? Oh, Evan thinks it's a waste. It's probably because he doesn't know how to do it, you know. Let me guess. That plastic could have been better spent to repair your car bed. Shut up, Evan. I think he's just, come on. You know you want that drone. Go watch the test on it, man. Shrike Ultra SAR-op drone. I call it a SAR-op drone because the original idea was it was a search and rescue platform, multi-role, for search and rescue operations, for fire mitigation, for reconnaissance, for military applications, things like that. Oh, by the way, I submitted my application and design for the DARPA Lift Challenge. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. The Shrike is not part of the DARPA Lift Challenge. I designed an entirely new drone for the DARPA Lift Challenge because it had specific specifications for that challenge. So yeah, I did my design, I did all my math, I did all my paper, and I've already done all the CAD work for it. Part of it's going to be 3D printed, but a lot of it's going to be carbon fiber sparring. And I can tell you what the competition's about. They basically want you to make a 55-pound drone that stays within the 107 parameters. That's basically, it can't be more than 55 pounds, but they want you to be able to lift a 110-pound payload. So I designed a drone that can do it. And after doing the math, the drone can do it with a 51% reserve in battery power. Now, we have to fly this 110-pound payload 4 nautical miles, drop it off, and then fly another nautical mile at an altitude of 250 feet. Originally, it was 350. So when I was crunching the numbers, I was like, okay, I can make this, but it might be tight. And then I ended up having actual energy reserves afterwards. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So I'm double checking the math, and it checks out. All the math checks out. So I submitted my design and my paper, and I'm just waiting to hear back from DARPA. And then we're in. We're in. And if I win, according to my math, I can complete the challenge. So that's basically a 55-pound craft drone that can lift 110 pounds and transport it 4 nautical miles, and then travel 1 more nautical mile unloaded back to land. Oh, this is a 90 millimeter flying wing. Lanson, I think it is. Hope I said that right. This is it's a 90 millimeter wing, and it's basically, this is just a 90 millimeter EDF. Underneath is the receiver, the battery, the ESC, and it uses a 6,000 milliamp pack, and I'm running 27 or 270 millimeters, 27 centimeters at the root cord, and 600 millimeters on the wing. And then, actually, it's more than that now because I extended it. I've just got to finish the ailerons, and then I am going to pretty much be done with that. I'm waiting for the carbon fiber spars. That's what it was, because I ordered them and it came from an overseas distributor, which means it never got here. So I had to get a refund on that, and I had to order other spars. I'm waiting for them to get here so I can fly it. It looks like a Horton. H229. Yeah, I guess it could look like that. It's a fun one because it makes a howling noise when I fly it, or when I ramp up the motor. Evan, what? They put lift in them? He always thinks he knows more than I do. Yeah, we're not gonna have anybody being stupid in here. I mean, it's hard for some of you, like Evan, but yeah, you say words like that, gone. Um, Thank you, that microwave guy. That's an awesome name. Thank you. Um, I want to give you the idea that I might be Irish. I've never given any indication of such things. You're white and Hispanic. Well, were you born in America? That makes you American. It's all that matters. You're American. That's all that matters. You're not Americans, Saki? What are you? Where do I live? California. Robbie, are you asking me? Canadian mother smucker. Yeah, we saw your Air Force fly over. It was a bunch of mallards. Took a couple out and had dinner. Am I close by Anaheim? No, I'm not. Actually, in the armpit of California. We've had fog here so bad we haven't seen the sun in like ages. Ace combat aircraft? I don't know. That's a tough one. Oakland. Well, stay safe out there, man. Congratulations. Is the horse okay? I should visit Africa? Why? I've seen grass huts in no order before. I mean, I don't need to go there. This is my work. I'm a retired Army, so I already did my work. You ate 72 ice cream sandwiches. Rookie. Yes, I'm drinking coffee. Gotta love that sweet bean juice. Oh yeah. Who doesn't enjoy coffee? You know, if you don't enjoy coffee, it's because I don't know why. There's no real reason why you shouldn't enjoy coffee. Coffee isn't black, it's in the back. YR99. Coffee's awesome. Why would you go to England? So you can't say anything on Facebook? Have a good one, Evan. It's always great when you drop by and try to insult the crap out of us. But we enjoy your company. You're that kind of troll we just want to keep around, you know? You should take pride in that. What brand is my microwave? I don't know, GE, I think. How long have I been doing this channel? About 2 years. Well, I actually have had the channel for a long time, but I didn't start doing content creation for, you know, until about 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years. And realistically, the idea was experimental propulsion, but I didn't want to just relegate it to one subject, because everyone's like, you know, if you want to get views and you want to get this on YouTube, you want to make money doing that and this and that and the other. I just didn't want to keep it strictly content based on a specific subject. I wanted to be able to have fun and have chats. You know, play with the Huskies and stuff online. You know, build a plane, build a drone, experiment with a different blade design, do some propulsion stuff that's crazy. Pyrotechnics coming later. And just have fun, you know. That's what it's about. It's about having fun. It's about having fun. And you're welcome. I'm glad somebody likes it. Normally you get, am I trying to make money? Yeah, because I got to keep this stuff going, take care of a family, you know, of 5 on VA benefits, and I've got to still afford to buy supplies for this thing. So to keep it up and going, because I enjoy doing it, but I also want to bring some new stuff to people. So like if you've seen some of the drone content that I've done and you're like interested in STL files for the Shrike 70, you know, if you look up the Shrike Maiden, that one was cool because that was that 70 millimeter EDF drone. That one's fun. We got the 340 millimeter EDF drone. I'll lug it over here again if you haven't seen it. Is your refrigerator running? You haven't heard that one since the 6th grade? I'm not a pyro. I actually had a license where I was with Skylighter, and I was actually testing out different mixtures, mainly for rocket fuels, because I was really into rocketry for a while. So I still kind of am, but budget wise, you kind of have to choose your hobby. So honestly, I want to move out of the state because I want to get to some wide open plains, you know. Go to Wyoming, surrounded by some beautiful mountains and snow, and then have some flatlands and build a shop and just continue to do my propulsion and experimental propulsion. There's a lot of stuff I can't show you on the internet because it's proprietary technology to me specifically, but I do like doing the hobby side of this for people. You will see what I'm building eventually, but it's going to be. I'm going to have to get some serious clearance for that. Otherwise, they're going to send in F-22s if I launch. But the point is, I want to be in a wide open area where I don't have to worry about, you know, air traffic, stuff like that. Close enough to a city where you can go get the essentials if you need to, but live off the land more or less, as intended. Because you'd be surprised at how many people would just die if the truck started delivering stuff to Walmart. And that's just sad to me. I like living off the land. I mean, I might be in a small place now where I'm at, but I still got a tilapia tank out back, you know, and make the own breed the tilapia, let them grow up, fillet them, put them in the freezer. So I know I probably got 30 or 40 full-grown tilapia out there right now, just breeding away, making my food supply. Yeah, rocket-powered RC plane. Or additions to the A10, like little tiny Hellfires. That's a good idea. But yeah, I try to make this channel about a lot of different things. Not just the drone content, but to get to know people. And I get a lot of trolls, which is fine. Which is fine. Like I said, I collect trolls. All trolls will bow before the YouTube troll king, which is I. Better known as Dale Master. Master of all Dales. My cousin Mike used to call me that all the time. When I was a little kid. Yeah, it's all about family, ain't it, Matt? So you're expecting a big old storm. You got an Arctic flow coming down. You're going to be an icicle. I remember when I was in Georgia on Fort Gordon, and we had a storm like that. And like every single branch on every tree, every leaf, every blade of grass had a 1/4 inch of ice around it. All the cars were iced to the ground. You couldn't open the doors. And we're on base. The whole base is on lockdown with no power, right? And it was the first time someone like me has experienced something like that. Being, you know, before the military, I was a professional couch potato in California, right? So I go to the first Fort Benning, and then Fort Gordon, back to Fort Benning, and then a couple other places. Can't say. But other than that, that was the first time I'd experienced, like, first off, I went to basic training in July, which was a mistake. For anyone who lives in a dry heat, if you're going to Georgia in July, you either don't know where you're going or you're completely insane. And when I got off the plane, I found out why. They're like, it's only 85. I thought, oh, only 85. Everyone's like, man, it's 85 degrees out there. It's horrible. I'm like, 85? I'm from California. 85 is nothing. And they were all like, wait till you get off the plane, son. Well, trust me. I found out. It was like walking out into a sauna. Camor 72. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love the shirt too. But yeah, I'm telling you, when basic was rough because, like I said, I was in the middle of it was in the middle of July when I started. I finally got downrange, Delta Company, 347th Infantry. Hello. It was like, get up at 3 a.m. We're gonna run 5 miles, and then when you're done working out at 6 o'clock, then you've got like 42 seconds to shower, and then get dressed, and you got 2 minutes to eat before you got to get back in formation for training for the whole day. Then when you're done, it's for the day after everything you're done, it's like almost midnight. Then you got to go to sleep and hope to God you didn't get fire watch, because you only had 3 hours to sleep before you had to get up again. What? What kind of question is that? Okay. See, this is where trolls jump in, if you read the chat, and they try to trap the person, actually, the host, into saying specific things online. Well, it is a pretty simple one, but I'm not gonna bite. Sorry. Yeah, they troll all the time. Like I said, I collect them. I'm the troll king. And they always ask. Some people will come in and they'll say, it's like, look, if you're going to ask a question like that, then you've already answered the question in the mirror by entering the room ass first. So, more power to you. Identify as whatever you want. Desk lamp, kitty cat, I don't give a shit. So you think that's a good icebreaker? Ask people. Start a conversation. Is that what you do? You walk in? You ask for science. There are other scientific questions you can ask that are more scientific than the make-believe that people have in their head. Okay? Yes, why not what? You know what? And too many people also that I encounter don't wear a damn name tag. But they're covered in freaking rainbow hair, septum rings, piercings, collars, and all kinds of shit. And you call them ma'am. She's got tits, so you assume that's what she is. And then she gets mad. Like, I don't identify as a female. Well, why the hell do you look like one? Even though you look like a fucking unicorn took a shit. With all your rainbow sparkly shit all over. Don't get mad at me if I misgender. You do what I do. Wear a fucking name tag. Right there. There, that's how you handle that shit. And if they start to get in an argument, I love the reel where the guy gets interrupted by the feminist and he goes, "Shut up, bitch, I ain't talking to you." And she goes, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "You are excused, ho." And she was speechless. When you put these people in their place, when they start their ideological bullshit, it really, really shuts them up quick. Because they get so infuriated, they have no actual retort to argue with. They have no leg to stand on. No offense to the people with diabetes. What? Well, yeah, it's insanity. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, okay, first off, you want to answer the question fully. It's very simple. Biologically, you are not going to reproduce the way some of these guys are wanting to reproduce. And two women can't have a baby without a man. I don't care if the applicator looks like Jodie Foster's knuckles. There is man batter in that thing. You understand? That's how it works. That's biology. And if you can't get that through your head, then don't speak in public. Just, that's all there is to it. Because it causes issues in public. Like when I go out in public and somebody, I'll tell you one thing. I ran into one really cool grandma. Saw me wearing this shirt, looked at me, and I thought I was going in for an altercation with an elderly woman. And if you don't think I'll knock a denture out, I will. Okay? But she held up her fist and gave me a fist bump. She said right there. She goes, rock on. I'm like, you too, grandma. She was cool. Why don't you just take a break and... Hey, T-Gunner, fuck off. How about that? Now I feel better. I mean, it sounds like you clean out your colon regularly. I'd leave the vacuum cleaner alone. It's starting to feel violated. Now, Gen X is the only generation that's going to friggin' survive. The rest of them are going to be, you know, caught in the next little boy drop that we do at a barista. Making them coffee. Good for you, T-Gunner. Glad to know you're taking your fiber. Yeah. Let's go ahead and keep playing into all the BS while sanity crumbles beneath us. It's coffee. T-Gunner. Are you trolling? I collect trolls. Stand in the corner with the rest of them. I'll get to you. Will, you win the internet. Yep. It was X was the last one, man. You got to raise your children right after that, man. We are responsible, because when you look at what's going on in the world today, and you're thinking, these people can't even figure out what the hell they are, and they can't identify a woman. They can't, and these are going to be the leaders of the country in the future. Hell no. Okay, I'll live in a bunker. That's a good statement. I personally miss war. So if like if it ever comes down to it, like we had a civil war once before a long time ago, you already know. Ironically, it's because the Democrats were mad because we wanted to end slavery. And now they're just acting like we're the racists. It was the Democrats that started the Ku Klux Klan, by the way. Just so you know, I'm just trying to make sure everyone's educated here. Democrats have been behind most, if not all, of the assassination attempts of every single sitting president that they have tried to kill, and then some that they did. It's all the left. All the left. Republican takes office, then all of a sudden, that's when the assassination attempts start, and they just can't handle not having power. Kind of like Pelosi, you know, but that bitch is drunk all the time anyway, so fuck her in the neck. Ask simple questions. Oh yeah, that's a good way to do it. I mean, I've seen so many reels in the past. I've seen so many reels where people go up to a woman who, I think it was a woman. I can't be sure. And they go, you know, it's it's a woman's right for this and that and the other, but if you ask them to identify what a woman is, then they get stuck. You know, and they get to that Windows blue screen of death. You know, where it's like, oh, loading error. You know, then I don't understand how they say that. How can you sit there and complain that you can't identify or categorize a man or woman based on their biology, and then bitch about women's rights, reproductive rights in the same sentence? It makes no sense whatsoever. That's what I think is hilarious. Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's all it is. I've seen too many reels of people being interviewed by people who are protesting, and when the left is out protesting. Like, first off, that whole thing that happened with Renee Good. The only thing that was good about that whole situation was the officers grouping. If you try to run over a cop, they're gonna shoot you. Okay, so let's get the obvious question out of the way. Now let's identify the dumb move: trying to run over a cop. No matter what your views are, if you try to run over a cop, you're going to get shot, period. That's all there is to it. You try to run anybody over in the street, they have a right to defend themselves, and if they have a weapon, you're going to get shot. That's all there is to it. So try not to do the stupid thing. First off, we won't even get into the story. She wasn't supposed to be there, didn't live in the States. She was supposed to be somewhere else. Her children, she didn't even have custody of because her wife was putting out cigarettes on them. So, model citizen, right? So yeah, no, I got no sympathy for her whatsoever. You know, I cared more about the dog sitting in the back seat than I did that bitch. No, you try to run over a cop, you get what you got coming. That's it. That's all there is to it. And she got it. She got it. Double tapped. Now, does the cop ever want to have to do that? No, of course they don't want to. But I doubt they want to be spun up inside somebody's brake calipers either. So, if you do try to run over a cop, chances are you're going to die. That's right, Jack. That's the perfect statement right there. The only thing Renee was good at was catching rounds. I can't wait till Don Lemon goes to prison. He gonna get the juice squeezed out of him in there, I guarantee it. Because he is going to prison, by the way. Everybody involved was going into that church and disturbing that amendment, that protected right of your constitutional right to practice your religion, being absolutely destroyed by him going in there with that group of people. He knew exactly what he was doing when he went in there. He did it on purpose, and he did it because he's a piece of shit. That's why. T Gunner is very interested in my bowel health. Are you a doctor? He's obsessed with you. My goodness, you're obsessed with the wrong things, T Gunner. Don't make you sit in the corner. Oh yeah, oh yeah. They lost the plot a long time ago, man. Totally agree, Jack. Totally agree. People have lost. The cheese has officially slid off their crackers. All of them. All of them. I mean, I've seen that. You've seen the reels. The guy gets pulled over and goes, "Identify as a cat," and the officer is like, "Well, you're gonna like get spayed and neutered because it's an unlicensed cat, and cats can't drive vehicles and stuff like that." Well, they changed their tune real quick. Yeah, bye, T Gunner. Well, yeah, there's assholes on both sides of the party. I mean, it's not just a one-sided thing. If it was just a one-sided thing, then um, you know, there wouldn't be as much controversy. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You kind of have to unpack that one. But realistically, it's on both sides. And but here's the thing: we have a constitution. It protects our rights. It protects us from government overreach. The government does not get to tell us what to do. They're there to provide for us with the money that we use, our tax dollars. They provide our infrastructure and enforce our laws. They do not tell us what to do that's against constitutional privilege. Like, for example, the right to bear arms. That's every American citizen's right, no matter what. I don't care what the state level says. Okay? Gavin Newsom, you can suck a big one. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter. We have a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Why? So that the government that's arguing that we don't have that right doesn't try to take over by taking away our guns. Because, I mean, I'm not a Mormon, but look what happened when the Mormons were convinced to give up their guns. They got slaughtered. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to do is take advice from a government or a group of people now that literally are saying, "Oh, guns are dangerous. No, people are dangerous. They'll use any weapon that they have available if they're intent on committing a crime." I've never seen a gun get up off a counter and shoot somebody. Not without somebody picking it up and using it. I mean, we're going to outlaw cars now because people get run over? Retards. Now, this is what pisses me off. They keep making up these stupid laws. Oh, yeah, you can have this, but it can only hold 10 rounds. Fine. I was in the Army, okay? I got my sharpshooter qualifications. 10 rounds is all I need. If that's the way you want to play it. money is, yeah, money's, it's not even based on anything anymore. Money now is more like Bitcoin is. It's based solely on its own existence and the transactions that it's made, that's made with it, and isn't based on any currency or any asset. Like originally, the dollar was supposed to be based on gold. It was supposed to be a promissory note for a certain amount of gold because they confiscated all the gold. They wanted to take it out of people's hands. So they gave you this note. Oh, is it XRP? But like the point is, even Bitcoin is the same, is a good example of currency that doesn't exist, and is strictly based valued based on its demand. You know, and its own transactions, doing the math on its own transactions. That's how it's weird. Yeah, the point is, people are the ones who kill people. Not, it doesn't matter what they did it with. And you'll hear people argue the point. Well, if they didn't have that kind of weapon, they couldn't have done that much damage. Well, if they didn't have a weapon like a gun, and they decided to use, like that one idiot did, a U-Haul truck, how many more people could they injure? I'd say weighing the difference between the weapon is ridiculous. You need to stop the individual that's going to commit the crime in the first place. So if they start attacking, you put them down quick. That's all there is to it. My streams are generally about just getting to know the public and get to know people, talk about any kind of topic you really want to. Um, but if people have questions about a lot of my content as far as the drones and the experimental propulsion and some of the projects that I'm working on, that's something I can talk about. But I try to make it sort of an open forum so people can kind of get to know me, uh, like me or hate me. I don't care, and just, and I get to know the people, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want it to be a faceless YouTube channel where I'm just showing off the projects I'm doing. I wanted people to know who I was. No, there's nothing in Fort Knox. Not, I mean, I know where it is. It's not in Fort Knox. That's a good point, Jack. It really is. Les. Lester, welcome. Nice to meet you. Yes, XRPs are very, very useful. Assets are what matter. Assets are the backbone. If you have numbers in a bank, they're only worth what they can get. They can buy you. Put them into assets, hard assets, land. That's the key. You own the land. You buy a whole bunch of land, and then somebody wants to develop on it, and it's just outside of town. Guess what the town has to do? They gotta lease it from you. Land is where it's at. That's my ultimate goal is to have my own land so I can build a shop, build a home for my family, have an estate for my children, stuff like that. That's why I'm doing this YouTube channel. Yeah, I know. Everyone's saying, well, you're not going to be a millionaire off of this. Well, I mean, Mr. Beast did it. He was probably rich before he started, though. I don't know. He probably wouldn't like my channel because I'm very outspoken about my beliefs, and I don't care what people think about it. And I'm not here to coddle anyone. So if anyone is offended, hopefully it was as a group, and I've done my job. They banned sporks. Dude, get this. We had paper bags, right, in California. Then they went to plastic, the thin plastic bags, right, the ones that you were like hoping would never rip. Then they go to the thicker plastic bags, which I can't figure out because they're like, these are reusable, but nobody reused them. They just got more, it just wasted more plastic. Then they went back to paper bags. So we're killing the trees or we're killing the turtles or whatever. Make up your mind, you know? But the damn paper sacks that they give us now, the handles, as soon as you pick them up, handles come right off. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? Who are we trying to save now by getting rid of plastic again? And then a couple of years from now, it's going to go, we're going to stop using paper sacks again. Oh, I know. Let's have, instead of having a plastic straw wrapped in paper, let's have a paper straw wrapped in plastic. Kind of like Tom McDonald said. Because that makes total sense. And whoever has had one, I've never had one of those straws. I never will because people say they're disgusting to use a paper straw. If somebody gave me a paper straw, I would probably throw it back in their face. Like, you let your straw melt in your mouth, dumbass. Yep, that's right. When it comes to assets, when it comes to the IRS, what do? Guns. Why did the IRS need armed officers? I mean, that it just seems to me they're like, you can't have those guns. They're illegal. And they're evil, dark black rifles. I don't give a shit. I have as many as I want. And you know why? Because you're gonna tell me the IRS, which I hope gets disbanded. I really do. I hope Trump does away with freaking the IRS. Why would they need guns? They're numbers people. They just try to take money from you. You ever try? Look, they'll take, you owe a dime, they're gonna get it yesterday. But if they owe you money, they're going to take their sweet ass time giving it to you. No, I'm not drunk. I don't drink alcohol, actually. Well, what makes you think that? Scary fairy. Ain't nothing scary about you. I got another troll though. I love the trolls. Eric, welcome, or error or whatever the fuck your name is. Welcome to it. Keep trolling away. Sit with the other trolls in the corner. I collect you guys. Does anybody else want to talk about something constructive, or you guys just want to hurl insults? Because I don't care. The Fed should have been gone a long time. Of course it should have. You used to be an accountant. Hold on. Sorry. Notification blocked your chat. 1 second. IRS doesn't audit people that make less than $450,000 a year. Well, I guess I'm in the freaking clear by a couple $100,000. Shit. If I made $450,000 a year, I don't even know the last time I saw a $100 bill. Unless I was handing it over to my landlord. Oh, come on, really? With the friggin' music? Dumbasses. Why you gotta play it that loud? First, I don't understand it because I don't speak Spanish. It's always the same damn beat. And you gotta play it so loud that your stupid freaking license plate's vibrating. You look like a fool. You found 250 on the street a month ago? You didn't pass out afterwards and get dragged into a white van? You gotta be careful picking up money. I see money on the street, I ain't touching it. I see money on my car. Like if I go somewhere with my girls, and if I come back and there's like I look for markings and stuff like that on my car. You know, hand on the grip, but I'm looking around for markings. I'm looking around for stuff on the handles. I'm looking around because because they're trying to take people now. I'm sorry, man. Well, you're gonna have a slug sandwich. You try that shit with me. No, I'm sure they can play their music with whatever volume they want, but since this is America, I can be pissed off about it too. So, turnabout is fair play. Their audience be able to make much money in paper because it's yeah, that's true. That's true. I gotta file my taxes. I actually didn't have to file taxes for a long time because on vet benefits you don't file taxes. Um, at least I don't think you do. I haven't, but ever since I got the LLC, so I could get some of the components I need, because I had to get a power distribution board that I got before from APD for the drone, and they stopped selling to the drone enthusiast market. So now I had to become an LLC in order to buy some of the components that I need for some of my larger drone projects. So, is it just me, or does that sound like an Amazon truck? Is that an Amazon truck? I can always tell because last time they hit my car. Well, they hit my boss's car. One of my boss's cars. It was parked on the street, and like that, their hinge on the side of the door on the back, they just went right across the back of the car and just ripped a whole bunch. Got $2,500 for it. Oh my gosh, Glory! Hey man, thanks. I haven't seen you in ages, man. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing all right. I'm like looking at the screen, like at your chat, like you're looking right back at me. You're over here. I'm sorry. It's just something I do. I use the good camera on my phone, so I can't read the chat coming up on the front. So I have to look over to the screen. Dude, what is it? What is your obsession with my freaking bowel movements, man? What is it, T Gunner? I mean, come on. It's like he's obsessed. He's like a two girls in one cup kind of guy. What did I get? Ooh, gimme. What is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. You guys get to see an unboxing. Oh, it's my servos. Cool. It's A10 servos. This is what I was waiting for because I'm doing the other wing right now. Yeah, he's a mod because he's badass. That's why. Little micro servers, 9 grams. They work out perfect, especially for these 3D lab print planes. Now I have plenty. I keep dropping them. Okay, that's good. Yeah, he has the mod everywhere pretty much. I think he mods like every channel. hey, there's no harm in having fun, even when you're almost 50. He lost that. What? You don't believe in an honest day's labor, I guess. Hanging off the wall behind you with the tube coming out. Oh, that's a CNC. That's an MP CNC. I just have planes sitting on it right now. It's actually, you remember the MP CNC? If you've heard of it, it's not. It's just it's a 3D printed CNC machine, is what it is, and that tube is the vacuum tube that goes to the shop vac underneath. But I have a couple airplanes sitting up on it right now because I'm not using it at the moment because I've already used it to cut some metal that I need to cut, and I don't have any projects that require just a standard 3-axis at this moment. So I'm actually looking for a good bench top 4th axis, like a Carvera Air or something like that. Because I'm kind of hoping they can help me with some of the gearing and then some of the metal pieces I need for my other drone. Well, we've got this one here. I'm waiting for the motors for this one. Okay. That's a 70 millimeter EDF, but this is the one I'm talking about. My other smaller drone. Okay, maybe it'll sit there. Hold on there. Get my chair in front of it. Okay, so this is the one I go grocery shopping with. I just pick it, you know, it picks me up, takes me to the store. Hold on, I'm totally playing with you. But this one I'm still working on because I have a lot of lighting I have to do. And a lot of stuff for the motors. Ah, there we go. Are you going to behave today? So, basically, one of the motors likes to misbehave. I gotta fix the lighting in there. But this is the Shrike Ultra. How'd your donkey die? I feel like this is a trap question. What? Jack? Clarify that question. The first part is a little bit concerning. Those are 3D printed PETG blades that have handled several thousand RPMs, slotted into the hub, each blade printed individually from the hub. This thing has no glue on the blades. No glue at all. Ouch. That sucks. Oh, yeah, he's been saying that a lot. For some reason, and I hate to put it this way, because I do have a nice ass. He seems to be obsessed with my bowel movements, which is concerning. How thick does the CNC bed go? 5/8. No, it's are you talking about the cutter size? Right now I'm running a Makito on there with a 1/4 inch. Call it. So it can move. It's a NEMA 17, not a 17. Is it a 17? No, that's a bigger than a 17. It's a NEMA. I think it's the 20 something. I forget. I've got about 6 inches of travel on the third axis. Sorry if I'm looking over this way. I'm reading the chat. X-Car with Nikita. Yeah, I've been trying to get a Carvera Air. Because what I'm hoping for, if you look at the blade roots here, they slot into the hub. And these, I'm hoping it could cut this blade geometry. I have a test fan over here. Hold on. Let me get it. So this was the 22 blade version, which had an extremely high disc loading, which means I need a much bigger engine to turn it. Like Mag Components IPE 50 kV, something thick, 24S. But you can see everything's slotted together. No glue. It's all friction fit. And then the main shaft goes on the back, so on and so forth. And then you get this. I put it in 11 blade configuration because I didn't need the disc loading of a 22 blade unless I find the appropriate motor for it, which is going to have to change the entire power system. So right now I'm running 18S ESCs at 120 amps. What I really need is 24S ESCs that'll handle 300 amps. Because the disc loading is going to change the amps you're pulling on that motor. So if you've got a motor that can peak, I can burst at 400, like the 8100 from Flip Sky. It's a skateboard motor, but I use them anyway. It handles, I think it's a 200 amp motor, but it can burst at 400 briefly. And the ESC for it is 6 to 14S, which is kind of weird. You'd think that'd be a 24S system, but it's not. And the idea is that I was gonna try those, but I may go with the Mag Components heavy lift drone motor, and then I may pulley it. What I may do is mount the motor farther back in here, and then do a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 pulley on here. So the main shaft on the back will be pulled by that pulley. The motors will be based here. The ESCs are already right here on the other side of the actual casing. And then everything will be run that way. The problem with that is when you're running a drone like that, the problem is belts and gears are usually what kill the stabilization on a drone. Unless it's direct drive, that's where you run into problems, is because you've got belt lag or gear lag or backlash on the gears or something like that. That's going to affect how it reacts. And it's going to take all of those imperfections and the stretching from the belt or the backlash from the gears, and it's going to translate that into the gyro stabilization as either an incomplete overcorrect or incomplete correction, and it'll try to overcorrect or undercorrect. That's when you have problems. So direct drive is the best option for me for a format this size. Now, I could make this work with a custom motor, but then you're talking about, a lot more money to have it made. And run it off of a 24S system. The real idea was to make certain that I could run this fan at the appropriate RPMs, but also remember that the disc loading kills RPMs, so you want a lot more torque as well. So you go with a lower kV motor and you can step it up, but you really don't want to step it up. It needs to be direct drive in order for it to be efficient. I must have missed everything Aaron was saying. I wasn't even watching. I was looking at the phone. But anyway, this is the original blade here. And I don't know if you guys remember the Beef Strike video. I dropped a whole kielbasa into this thing at like max RPMs, and it didn't. All it did was skip the thing out after cutting it up. So, and this is PETG. Believe it or not, this is Creality PETG, and it has handled some serious abuse. So a lot could be said about Creality. You might not like them, but their PETG is the shit, man. I'm telling you. And a lot of this stuff here was done with Overture clear PETG. Only one of these fans was done with Bamboo Labs PETG. And honestly, the Creality is just way better. I mean, it's just solid stuff. So Creality, if you're watching, I'll take 300 rolls, because this took 28 kilograms of, 28 rolls to print this drone. So let me put this fan down. Oh, glory, if you missed it. And the A10's coming along. So far, so good. Follow me at the wing. Wing's gonna be full flaps, full air brakes. I gotta do some more painting. I was waiting for this first to dry. So full retracts, air brakes on the aileron, and full flaps. So each wing is going to have everything. So it's going to be a beautiful plane. And I can't wait. I can't wait to finish this out because it's going to be gorgeous. And the retracts and stuff are on the way. It's 4 servos per wing because, and again, I got to do more paint coats because I'm not done yet. But you've got, like I said, full flaps, full retracts, full air brakes, full aileron movement, And I'm going to run it with a SpeedyBee F405 wing so that I can set the endpoints for all my servos and make sure everything's perfect. So, first wing was a learning curve when it comes to this lightweight PLA, but it came out nice. Everything looks good. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm printing up the other wing now. I got to finish doing the coat, the paint on here, and then we're going to get this A10 put together, and I'm going to fly it one time. But yeah, that's what all these servos are for. It's for that, you know, because it takes a lot of servos. I got to put 4 more servos in the other wing, and then 4 for the rear, because there's 2 servos for the rudder and 2 servos for the elevators. And the landing gear I don't use servos for because those are actual. I got full retracts coming in for those. I know, it's almost like he took medication, isn't it, Glory? You love animal? You like Animal Crossing? You love aviation? I do too. But I also like experimenting with aviation too, which is why you see a 90mm EDF wing sitting back there. A jet back there behind it that you can barely see, that actually takes off from the water. A jet that takes off from the water, okay? We've got the Shrike Ultra, which is my big 340mm 11 blade. And then we have the smaller one behind it over here. Hold on. Can't get this stuff. This is the 70mm. This one actually just runs straight 70mm EDFs. Runs off of a 6,000 milliamp pack. And basically a Speedy F405 wing mini and APD 500X power distribution board. I switched out the standard PX capacitors with some YXF capacitors to smooth out ripple current, and I'm running 80 amp iFlight D-Shot 600 ESCs on it. 22.2 volt 6S. Am I playing ready or not? Yes. I have played it a couple of times. Actually, I got back into Elden Ring. That one was fun, but then it ticks me off because I'm totally lost. I hadn't played it for so long that I didn't know what to do next. Are you talking about, Jack, are you talking about the A10 or are you talking about the drones? Because on the A10, I was going to go with a standard like Spectrum controller and just set the, servo throws and stuff like that on the A10. And what I decided to do was use a Speedy F405 wing, mainly because this being my first printed plane that I've done on a lightweight PLA, I wanted some auto stabilization. And yeah, I could have put like a Reflex 2 kind of gyro in there, but I figured I'd go with a higher quality flight controller just so I could make sure that I could flip into a stabilized mode and go into a loitering mode if I ever got myself in any trouble, just with a flick of a switch. And I have a TX16X transmitter. It's going to be done on a 2.4 gigahertz ELRS receiver. So the whole thing's 2.4 ELRS. And I'm going to program in a navigation loitering mode and an auto land, that kind of thing. Navigation hold, altitude hold, that kind of stuff. Just so if I have any issues in the air and I flip that switch and I've got altitude hold and all that other stuff and everything is pretty much stabilized, if I still have a problem and the plane goes down, I know it's more mechanical than it was programming. So I want the first flight to be successful, but when you do stuff like this, it's 50-50. No, it's not controller corrected. It's you can interrupt the auto stabilization anytime you want to just by stick inputs. But if you take your hands off the sticks and stabilization mode's on, it's going to fly straight and level. If you program a loitering mode around a specific geo-fenced area, then you can flip on the loitering mode and it'll keep itself at a bank and at altitude, and it'll fly in circles by itself if you want to. Those for me are all fail safes. Just if something goes wrong, I can go, okay, flip a switch, we're good to go. Everything's safe, figure out what's going on, and then bring it in for a safe landing when I can. Elden Ring. I don't know what Elder Scroll. Elder Scroll sounds familiar. Oh, Elder Scroll World. Gotcha. See. You keep getting interruptions. Evan, you're right about that one, man. I get into some of the Elden Ring games. They're like, oh, here, and this huge map, and all this stuff you got to do. I'm like, screw that. I'm going back to Warzone. And I enjoyed Warzone until it turned into just another Fortnite. And it's like I can't stand it. It's like give us a war shooting game like Battlefield. That one stuck with the genre. And then Warzone went and added freaking superheroes and crap. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're literally going full Fortnite on Warzone, and it's in the hackers and the aimbotters and stuff like that. They say they can stop it, but they can't. They've tried. It's just pointless to play. And yeah, there's cheaters in every game, but Battlefield is more realistic to me than most of the other games, most of the other online shooters, and they stayed with that. They haven't tried to put in like Superman or Batman or whatever the hell else that they're can get away with. Oh boy, I didn't know it was for almost. I've been on almost 3 hours, but you like playing games with zero competitiveness. That's a good one. I like that. All right, so yeah, it's getting to be about that time. We're gonna have to start putting stuff away and things like that. So what we're gonna do is kind of walk you around here a little bit. So that's the other plane. That's the CNC that the other guy was asking about. The thing on top there is actually a hydroponics thing. It's for growing fungi. I do experiments with bioluminescence. That's one of the jets. This is the 90 millimeter wing right here. You can see it's just a 90 millimeter wing, basically. You've got the Strike Ultra. You've got the Strike 70. That's the Strike 70, the Strike 340, which is the Strike Ultra. The A10, which we got here. The wing is done, and I'm getting the rest. I'm doing the other one right now, so we're getting that done. Then I got to do with the tail section. That's my test fan right there. That I'll be dropping more stuff in later. More kill bosses, possibly a chicken. Come on over, I'll put on a chicken. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for today. Just it was a fun stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. All the new people that came out. Love the trolls. You guys are free to go now out of the corner. And you know what? You guys have always been a wonderful crew. Glory, it was good to see you again. I will tell her you said hi, and I'll probably see you online, depending on if you're playing. Just remember the name, War Machine D347. You'll see it. You can't miss me. Well, that in a shooting game, I kind of hope you do. But A10 is going to be the focus coming up until I get the rest of the 70 millimeters for this one. And then after that, we'll focus on this one. And we're definitely going to focus on that one in the interim. So I got a lot of stuff going on. What can I say? But thank you all for watching. I've been DPC. You've all been wonderful. I mean, you guys have been wonderful. And I will see you all again next time. Love you. You. Not the ball. You guys. See you later. Have a good one. Stay safe out there.